Hello, I'd like to talk to you a few minutes about the name that we have come to associate with one we've come to know as the devil. I'm just basically going to read some Wikipedia articles and make a few comments on this, so I welcome you to reference these Wikipedia articles. But the name of the devil, it's kind of interesting. What is the name of the devil? A lot of people would say it's Satan. You might even get people often saying Lucifer. So I want to talk about these two names that we've come to know, and just see what you think about it. In the Wikipedia article, if you just search for Satan, you will find this article, and it says, originally the term was used as a title for various entities, humans, accusing angels, etc. Since then, the Abrahamic religions have used Satan as a name for the devil. In the Torah, Satan is used to describe both military and legal adversaries. Satan is also in Balaam's story in Numbers 22. The angel of the Lord is identified as an adversary or a physical block to Balaam's journey in Numbers 22:22. Later in Numbers 22:32, the angel of the Lord specifically identifies himself as claiming to be like an adversary, again using the term Satan. In 2 Samuel 24:1, Yahweh cites David incites David to a census. Later in 1 Chronicles 21:1 would attribute this action to Satan. So what we have, we have the Hebrew, in the Hebrew scriptures, we have references to Satan as being an angel, or in this latter reference, Samuel 24:1, and if you look in 1 Chronicles 21:1, it says that was Satan who did what Yahweh did. So what we have, the Hebrew Satan is a general title used for an adversary. And there's one New Testament reference, that I'm just going to kind of, I don't know if I'm speculating here, but that reference where Jesus reviles Peter. Jesus said, "I'm going to go." Peter says, don't go, and Jesus says, "Get thee behind me, Satan." And I always thought, man, he called Peter Satan. I think it was Peter anyway, but whoever it was, he called him Satan. That sounds rough. But if we understand it like the Hebrew uses it, he says, "Get thee behind me, adversary." And so it's interesting to note that the word Satan is direct from the Hebrew. So like, if I'm understanding this right, I think this is right, that if you walk up to a Hebrew person or a Jewish person that knows Hebrew, and you say Satan, then they'll know what that means. I mean, because that's one of their words. If you walk up to them and say watermelon, well, they don't know what that means, but they know what Satan means. It's their word. So Satan is a Hebrew word that came straight over into English. There's another word that I want to talk about, and it's the other name that people are familiar with is Lucifer. And Lucifer is basically, it has a Latin origin, and this is kind of a long article, so I don't want to read the whole thing. But there's a verse in Isaiah chapter 14 verse 12. It uses it's talking about somebody, and it references them as being Lucifer, or the morning star. So in Hebrew you would translate that as morning star, and in Latin you would translate that morning star as Lucifer. That's an accurate translation. But all the way back in the old times, whenever this was written, the teachers of the Bible were telling people that was about the devil, and they understood it as being about the devil, and they just understood that was the devil's name. But it just means morning star. So the Latin used it correctly as morning star or Lucifer, but that came straight over into the English translations as though it were a name, into many of the English translations. A lot of later translations of the Old Testament, they have recognized that it's supposed to just be morning star. So we have is something that was taken straight, Satan, straight from the Hebrew all the way to English. We have Lucifer, that was made up in that was rightly given in the Latin Vulgate, and it was taken straight over into the English because people thought that was the name of the devil, and it's not. It's a reference actually to the Babylonian king. It's very clear if you read the chapter. And a point I like to make is there was Satan and Lucifer, which aren't names, were made into names. What everybody knows his name. But if you go and you ask somebody what the name of the Almighty God is, well, they don't know. They think it's God. So that's something else to think about. I've got another video out about how people lost the name of the one true God, and I invite you to watch that and the others, and just do your own study and see what you come up with. Thanks.